Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Focus and Happy here on Last Refuge. Focus spawning as the red orc over here on the bottom left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Happy spawning as the blue undead over here on the top right. Undead versus orc in this 1v1 matchup, and well, I believe both players did actually select their particular race this time, so we'll see how things will be going. Now, I am expecting your standard Blade Master versus Death Knight in this matchup. I would be absolutely dumbfounded if it wasn't a Death Knight, perhaps some sort of Lich first strategy, but it seems like 9 times out of 10 or 95 times out of 100, it is going to be a Death Knight, and that is what we're looking at here. Ghoul will be trained up, and we'll see whether or not the Death Knight goes for Unholy Aura first or for Death Coil. It looks as though Happy's going to be going for that Death Coil, as the Blade Master already off to the north, attempting to take down the Ogre Warrior and grab that particular item. Perhaps we'll head back, grab a healing salve as well, sell that Scroll of Town Portal, and then try and do a bit of harassment. There you go. We'll be healing back up already. You can see that there's an Acolyte wandering back and forth, and now knows that the Blade Master just left his base and should be joining up with the rest of that Blade Master army. Excuse me, the grunts should be joining up with that Blade Master army. Wow, not even talking straight. Long day at work. My apologies for not being on top of everything so far, as it looks like the Death Knight will finish clearing out the 333 creep camp without much effort. Big question here, though, is where were the ghouls? I didn't see a single ghoul creeping alongside Happy, and that most likely means that all of the ghouls were just harvesting lumber, and that also means that we are going to be going into a much faster particular opening in terms of tech. No ghouls were joining in on this fight. Forest Troll Trapper will get taken down, and only skeletal minions being used to try and clear out these creep camps. Meanwhile, Blade Master going to be going after this Ogre Magi, takes him down, gets to level 2, and is now wind walking away after picking up that Wand of Mana Stealing. Death Knight also sitting at level 2 as well, and I got to imagine that the amount of lumber that the Undead player has is just significantly higher than normal, since he is not creeping with any of those ghouls. Death Knight now does have that Dust of Appearance. Is he going to go after that one particular unit? All right, there was a Wand of Mana stealing a bit of that experience right there. Blade Master now down to 300 some odd mana. Use that Wand of Mana Stealing to steal enough mana in order to be able to use Windwalk there. Death Knight now going to go ahead and engage. You can see the Blade Master has another Death Coil. He's going to be able to steal that last blow and pick up the item. I believe it was a Ring of Protection +2 as an illusion grunt now being left behind. Alright, Happy, perhaps not realizing that that was just an illusion, overestimated the size of Focus's army right there as he now retreats back home. He is going to be using another Rod of Necromancy charge, and he wants to do a little bit more creeping. He knows that he cannot fall behind, as we are already at Stronghold for the Orc, and we are nearly at Halls of the Dead for the Undead. Death Knight making its rounds down. Where can he possibly creep right now? Perhaps this 533 creep camp is the only option. Meanwhile, the Blade Master sitting almost at level 3, already with +8 attack. That can be potentially very dangerous, as the Death Knight creeping out his opponent's neck of the woods, perhaps trying to get this Ogre Magi down faster than when the Blade Master can appear. There's the Dust of Appearance. No Blade Master nearby. Gonna go ahead and pick up the item. It is a Circlet of Nobility or a Ring of Protection +2. Wasn't quite keeping track. Meanwhile, the Death Knight going to finish off the remainder of this creep camp, as the Forest Troll Trapper throws down an ensnare on a Crypt Fiend. Forest Troll Trapper does get taken out here. Blade Master already at level 3. Double Gloves of Haste, meaning that that Blade Master is going to be attacking and proccing that critical strike that much more quickly. May decide to sell. Yeah, that Wand of Illusion doesn't pick up, however, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Instead, now backs away, doesn't even pick up a Staff of Teleportation, relatively low on mana. So if he does try to do any harassment, he may end up in a little bit of trouble. All right, there you go. Death Knight now seeing that level 3. Creep Camp was lost right there. There's a Death Coil attempting to finish off one low hit point Grunt. Beautiful use of the speed scroll. Is that Grunt going to get taken down? No, it is not. Down to 5 hit points and able to back away. Speed scroll being used to get away from a Crypt Fiend. One more attack would have been enough, as the Death Knight uses a Scroll of Town Portal and gets to level 3. Death Knight relatively low on mana. There's a Dust of Appearance as you see the Blade Master taking a fair bit of damage as it tries and escapes. Death Knight gonna go ahead and engage here. You see an illusion being procced here as well, absorbing a good amount of damage as a Tome of Agility picked up by the Lich. Not quite sure why, as the Death Knight probably is the one that needs a little bit more armor. All right, Frost Armor on a Death Knight illusion as he is now wandering about as well. Lich is going to stay at level 1. 1 or 2 more volleys should finish it off. One more volley from that Lich. There it goes. Death Knight off over here. It is going to get spotted very quickly. Oh, and disappears just in an instant as we now see the Shadow Hunter does have a crystal ball. He did clear out the Ogre Lord at that particular creep camp in order to get that item, and we'll see if it is sold. Crystal ball not necessarily the most useful item for an orc going up against an undead, but then again, those Crypt Fiends may try to play a game of whack-a-mole with their burrow. Ogre Mauler going to get taken down here. It looks like, yep, another illusion absorbing a large amount of damage. Once again, Forest Troll Berserker with Inner Fire. Very difficult to take out for any piercing units. That additional armor plus the fact that medium armor takes reduced damage from those Crypt Fiends means that it takes quite a bit of focus. Lich now finishing off this last Forest Troll High Priest. Meanwhile, Shadow Hunter sitting at level 2, healing back up the rest of the army. We are almost neck and neck in terms of army size, 43 compared to 38, as the Shadow Hunter now getting in some additional creeping by himself away from the Blade Master. Tauren Chieftain also added in there as well. Shadow Hunter taking far too much damage. Perhaps it will be able, yeah, picks up a healing ward. That is exactly the item he needed in order to mitigate much of the damage that's being dealt across multiple units. That Shadow Hunter perhaps also needs a healing salve as well. As you can see, that damage is just starting to get, well, healed off right now. Lich in play. We see Banshees. Banshees do, in fact, have the ability to curse their targets and causing them to miss. That is extremely important, and one of the reasons why you go Banshees, as that Blade Master, it won't be able to deal nearly as much damage. It takes the edge off of that Blade Master's high-end crits. All right, let's continue to take a look at what's going on here. Crypt Fiend's going to continue to focus down these units. Forest Troll Trappers will get taken out. Meanwhile, back across off over here, another healing ward being placed down across multiple units. Healing back up. Blade Master does have an Orb of Lightning to try and purge down any sort of air units, as we also see Unholy Aura being picked up by the Shadow Hunter. Extremely important, as it does stack with the Endurance Aura. And with that double movement speed buff, those Kodo Beasts, those Grunts can in fact chase down units, even if your opponent is at level 4 with level 2 Endurance Aura. Death Knight is going to be very, very close. Has a Sobi Mass and a Potion of Mana. Lich is out, ready to go. Has Mantle of Intelligence and that Orb of Corruption. So important in removing armor, as we're going to be looking at, well, Dark Ranger being added in here as well in order to, silence that Blade Master and not allow him to be able to wind walk nearly as much. All right, here we go. Here's the next attack. Healing ward quickly going to be removed right there, as we now see an engagement happening. Blade Master, healing wave. Blade Master getting up to level 4 right now. True Shot Aura, wind walking, trying to get away. You see a couple of ensnares going down. Death Knight gets a Death Coil across multiple units as the Blade Master now once again goes to engage. A Grunt does get taken down. A big stomp across multiple units as you see a couple of misses going by. Banshee now trying to get away as well. pretty much in a very, very bad position. There is a silence, unable to stomp right there as the Death Coil Frost Nova finishes off the Tauren Chieftain. Blade Master now no longer attacking nearly as quickly. There's a burrow right there. We do have a Dust of Appearance charge ready, as the Blade Master has not been able to deal that much damage, constantly missing its targets, as you see a 207 critical strike now coming into play. All right, Kodo Beast getting healed back up. Blade Master trying to finish or heal up more of those, or finish off those healed units, as another burrowed Crypt Fiend does burrow once again. He does regenerate a little bit more hit points while burrowed, as we now see the Blade Master down to 379 hit points. Continuing this attack here, perhaps we're going to see the Death Knight and the Lich try and get a little bit more experience. Lich is going to stay at 3, Death Knight will stay at 4, but you are taking that experience away, and the Dark Ranger will get to level 2. There are enough Banshees out now to cast Curse across pretty much the entire Orc army. Blade Master missing attacks, that is going to be key and critical, as the Shadow Hunter, I believe, yes, he did have a pocket Great Hall and is now establishing an expansion at the 10 o'clock location. If that expansion goes unchecked, it will obviously give an economic advantage to the Orc, and as long as he doesn't lose his army too quickly, he can trade inefficiently. Although he is able to trade inefficiently, you don't want to trade inefficiently, because you will be giving higher levels to the powerful hero nuke of the Death Knight and that Lich. Level 5 Death Knight, level 5 Lich is extremely dangerous based upon the amount of damage that Frost Nova and Death Coil can deal. Add in a Dark Ranger Silence to prevent any sort of wind walk, and that Blade Master's days can be numbered. Shadow Hunter getting into position here. We might see a potential Creep Jack. There is the Lich ready to go, trying to finish off some units. Crypt Fiend, well, trying to get away. Are we going to see all these units get away in time? Blade Master is going to be able to focus down that Crypt Fiend. Are we going to see a burrow? There's a Death Coil right on the money. As I looked as though the Blade Master critical striked and missed at the same time. Blade Master continuing the fight back across here. Blade Master continuing to battle this through, as you see ghouls getting taken down. Kodo Beast very low on hit points. It does eat a Crypt Fiend, but it is getting focused down as well, especially with that -5 armor. That one Crypt Fiend is going to end up getting taken down. Another Kodo Beast is going to get taken down as it now tries to back off. Obsidian Statue in that front position, getting ensnared and getting in trouble. We do see a slight advantage for Focus, since he is fighting up on the higher ground. Any sort of range units will be missing their target a bit more, as we now see a Hex going down onto the Lich. Lich down to 500 hit points after a Potion of Invulnerability, and a Death Coil does go down as well. Shadow Hunter trying to run back away, and all of this fighting and units are just getting picked apart one at a time, as the Raiders are trying to focus down some units. All right, Burrowed Crypt Fiend is going to end up surviving, but it looks as though the Undead army is just losing far too many of its units too quickly. All right, there goes another Obsidian Statues. There's now a 7 population difference, a lot of missed targets and a lot of missed opportunities, as the Blade Master tries to finish off the Lich. Lich getting healed back up once more, and you can really see the big difference that the misses are causing for this Blade Master, taking a lot of that damage edge off. All right, Lich still staying alive, needs another Frost Armor here. Not quite sure why it doesn't have it, as the Tauren Chieftain now needs to get away, unable to stick around for very long, as we now see the Dark Ranger perhaps going after these units here. All right, Peons are going to get taken down. Skeletal Minions will get added. And are we going to see a level? Yes, we are. Level 4 now on the Lich. Dark Ranger going to stay at level 2, but more key units getting taken out. 45 compared to 43 supply. After that fight right there, the Great Hall will get taken out. And, well, it looks as though Happy is able to sit up a little bit straighter. He came out of that fight fairly strong. He got a lot of experience on his main heroes. A Death Knight with Sobi Mask giving plenty of mana, and the fact that that Lich just didn't seem to want to die, causing a lot of problems, especially the fact that the Lich had Frost Armor on him, slowing the attacks of the Blade Master and adding in a little bit more damage mitigation. Great haul now completed down across over here. It looks like Focus. If at first you don't expand well, try again. And that's exactly what he's doing. Looking to clear out this creep camp down to the bottom right while expanding right next door. Tauren Chieftain should get to level 3 here. Shadow Hunter is at 4. Blade Master is at 4. Is the Tauren Chieftain just going to be shy? Yeah, just shy. 7 experience shy from level 3. Most likely wishes that the Shadow Hunter could just give him a little bit of extra experience for either a better Stomp or better Endurance Aura. Alright, Endurance Aura, level 1. Unholy Aura, also the level 1 variety, giving an additional bit of healing as well. The majority of the creep camps have been cleared out, save for this one right here. That's pretty much the only major one left. But then again, most of the heroes are getting to level 5 or already at there, meaning that the creeps wouldn't help them all that much either. 5-4-3 compared to 4-4-3. Extremely close in terms of the hero level. 55 supply compared to 52. And we're going to look at perhaps a larger army coming in from Happy, going up against a better economy coming in from Focus. Now, is there going to be enough gold from this gold mine to really make this expansion worthwhile? That is going to be the big question here. 58 over 60 supply compared to 56 over 70. We are pretty much dead even, as the Banshees do not have any additional sort of training, mainly there just for that curse. Obsidian statues nearby. Blade Master is keeping track of this army, and, well, it could get very dangerous very quickly. Lich, with double Mantles of Intelligence, having plus 20 attack, and that Orb of Corruption removing the majority of that armor off. Blade Master, however, double Gloves of Haste can also be a very big issue there, as the Death Knight now makes its way over here to the Ogre Magi. Alright, 5-4-3. It looks as though Happy just wants a little bit of extra gold, and he will be able to get it. Does he pick up the item? What was it? Ring of Protection plus 2, it appears. Blade Master right next door, but doesn't want to engage against this, well, rather large army. You see the Dark Minions are wandering around, 15 to 17 damage with 290 hit points. That is very scary if that Dark Ranger continues to build up a larger and larger army. All right, there is a burrow. There's a stomp across the majority of the undead army, as the skeletal minions are now just stopped in their tracks. Blade Master may use a potion of lesser invulnerability. There it goes. Another stomp. And Tauren Chieftain just absolutely wrecking the army by stunning them for what seems to be 5 seconds. Alright, Tauren Chieftain still has a potion of mana and will be able to stomp again, taking down much of that army once more. But the Tauren Chieftain is in fact out of mana. He has done his job though, as you see the units now trying to chase down that Lich. Alright, now that there are no more stomps coming in, it looks like the Undead army is going to try and continue to fight back once more. Frost Nova going across. There goes onto a Kodo Beast, now onto a Raider, as more and more units are getting taken out. Alright, another stomp right there. Tauren Chieftain still chasing after all those units. 56 supply compared to 53. As the Obsidian statues are still in that back line, we are pretty much neck and neck in terms of supply, as we see the Tauren Chieftain finally fall. Orc army taking a significant loss, and without that movement speed upgrade and the attack speed upgrade, the Blade Master isn't dealing nearly as much damage. Death Knight inching closer and closer to 5.5. Meanwhile, the Lich is getting closer to 5. If you see level 3 Frost Nova, that could be a problem, as the Blade Master able to slip away. Troll Headhunters, a lot of them are currently, well, cursed, unable to really fight back here, as the Obsidian statues are just in the back saying, you know what, I don't need to upgrade. Blade Master finally gets taken down from the powerful hero nuke, and that will be the game. Happy taking out Focus, even though he had the lower resource score. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed it.